So welcome to our session 5. Our session 5 on the Ways to Wellbeing course is all about connection. And I want you to just have that in your mind as we just take a moment of mindfulness, where we just think about how we're sat, think about where we are, and start with some deep, relaxing breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. In through the nose and out through your mouth. And one last one, in through the nose and really blow away out through the mouth. And if you feel more comfortable with your eyes closed, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to keep your eyes open, that's also okay. What I want you to do is just think about just touching your hands onto the seat next to you. And if there isn't a seat next to you, just onto your lap. I want you to feel connected with your body. And I want you to imagine that touching of your own legs or the sofa going all the way down and just feeling as if your hands were touching your feet. Just think about how they get you from place to place. Think about how strong they have to be. And then think about how you're sat in the chair underneath you and allow yourself just to sink a little bit further into there. And we're thinking about connection today, but I also want you to think about that in terms of the things you touch. So connecting with your hands, thinking about how your feet connect to the floor, thinking about how you connect with the things around you. And just take a moment just to allow that thought to drift. Thinking about the connection you've got with yourself and the connection you've got with the things around you. And I want you to start to just notice your feet connecting with the floor and your hands connecting with the seat or your own knees. And I just want you to just rock a little bit, bring yourself back into the physical body as you notice your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And allow your eyes to flutter open if they are closed. And if not, let's just focus back into where we are. Ross is looking really relaxed there, which is great.
Settings on these groups, they're fantastic.
And I want you to think all about connection. There's really strong evidence that indicates feeling close to and being valued by other people, or feeling that we're valued. It's a human need, and it helps us to function well in the world around us. And sometimes if we rely on that just being with people, that can be really difficult. So sometimes it's good to focus on that connection with things. It might be your home or your pets or the things that you own. It's really clear that having some sort of social relationships are important for well-being, and particularly after the challenging times that we've had, it helps to buffer against mental ill health for people of all ages. During this challenging time, it's been harder than ever to make new connections. And sometimes we've just had to rely on, the people that we already know and trying to connect with them in any way we positively can. It helps us build self-esteem. It makes us feel like we belong. It means we can share positive experiences with someone else, and we can get emotional support when we need it. And I think we've had to be more imaginative than ever, Roz, in trying to find ways to have those connections. And I think Zoom and online has been so massive in doing that. But, we can still pick up the phone, or we can write a letter, a postcard, send a text. We could FaceTime and use the social media. But there are also, so many different ways of reaching out to connect to other people. And I keep going back to what you said, Ros, but just that walking down the street and being able to share a smile with somebody, It doesn't have to be a long-term connection. Sometimes the smallest connection, I know that, I don't know about you, but I always seem to talk about the weather to people, or, the fruit inside the supermarket. But just those little moments can make a real difference.
You don't
Well,
know, do you, what the other person is going through, do you? You don't know if they've seen anybody that day and what a difference that can make. Just a small interaction, even on the other side of a road, a little nod
mm,
and a hi, it just shows that you're there, you're human, and you've been noticed.
yes, yes. And everybody, other than your maybe immediate family, started off as someone that you didn't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to think about being brave, and maybe, maybe it is the weather. Maybe it might be about, something like flowers, or something in the environment around you. Um, but it's good to try and be braver with our connections, especially if we're feeling unconnected. Sometimes your mind might think, oh, there's no point trying to connect. But I find that most people, especially if they're not in a rush, don't mind having that extra piece of connection,
And what's the worst
or
that can happen if they don't respond? If you've gone to smile at
mm,
someone and they haven't noticed and they're just in their own mind and they're walking straight on, well, it's not the end of the world, is it? But what if they did respond with a smile as well?
and we're talking a bit, I think, about how not to think that when you don't get an immediate reply, it's not necessarily about you. But if you message a friend, it doesn't matter what it says. People just appreciate being thought of. It's okay to message someone and just say, I just wanted to drop you a message and say, I'm thinking about you, without any agenda. It's, once again, it's a bit like that complimentary gift. Or writing a letter or postcard. I think we underestimate the impact that can make. And we don't send as many letters and postcards now, but I know how nice it is to just receive that. It just gives you just that moment of like real warmth. And but connections do need some sort of maintenance, don't they?
They do, but I think it's important as well not to beat yourself up if you can't respond straight away. If you get that letter or an email, I know that I might have sent something and then I haven't had a reply, and I start, it's quite easy to sort of wonder, oh, I wonder if they've received it. I wonder if they're going to reply. Oh, I hope I didn't write anything that might have upset them. Where in actual fact, people are busy and they've got things to do. It doesn't mean they're not going to respond. The likelihood is that they will when they have the time to give you that focus as well.
Yeah. And I think one way that you can kind of resolve that for yourself, that kind of, I've sent a message and why hasn't that person responded? I often think it's nice to just put on there, be lovely to hear from you when you're free.
Mm,
It kind of, it stops it being that you're waiting for that. It's
mm,
almost like you're putting something out there, but it doesn't feel like it has to come back immediately. I'd much rather someone thought about their reply than just felt they had to hurry.
mm.
I'm quite happy to put no rush.
Yeah,
Just let
take
me
the
know
pressure
how
off.
you are. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes we're afraid to reach out because of rejection,
Mm,
because we don't want to intrude, or but if everyone felt that way, I don't think we'd ever make any connections at all. So I think
yeah,
we just bravery with reaching out for connection.
mm.
Yes. Yeah.
And it can be somebody who you've not necessarily seen for a long time as well. Somebody from your past, like an old friend that you just lost contact with, and it's easy to think, well, it's been 2 years or longer already. They're not going to
Mm.
want to hear from me. But in actual fact, it's lovely, isn't it, to get that email in your inbox, or a birthday card or something that you weren't necessarily expecting from someone.
Yeah. I work very hard on trying not to mind read what other people might be thinking or doing in a negative way. And if I do have those negative thoughts, to try and combat them with the other options, because there's always a balance. You might think, oh, that person might be too busy, but allow yourself to maybe think about the other side. That person might be too busy right now, but they might find time later on in the week,
Mm.
or they might enjoy hearing from me. We
I
give
think
them
that's the important thing is, it can make a difference to them, even if they're unable to respond, is actually they could be having a really bad day. And even though they're not in a place where they can respond, it's
Mm.
still going to be recognised and noticed that you were thinking of them.
I think it's just about maybe encouraging the people watching this course to trust that connections will respond if they're able to.
Mm.
That if they try and reach out to maybe one more person at a time, make peace with the thought that each person might be doing their own thing, but they're more likely to get a response if they reach out more than once to more than one person.
Mhm.
Because, like you say, people might be busy, they might not see or receive it, they might want to wait and give it their due care and attention. They might not have the right thing to say at that moment,
Mm.
or they might not be used to responding as quickly as you are. They
Mhm.
might even be having technical issues. So I think it's really important just to maybe relax
Mm.
that kind of expectation and allow connections just to become a bit more simple.
Mhm. Yeah, simple's the key word, isn't it?
Mm,
Always.
mm. I think sometimes not feeling good enough can get in the way of
Mm.
reconnecting or trying to connect with people.
Mm.
That comparison with that other person. But I think we were speaking before about our own unique life experiences and qualities and about valuing that,
Mm. And
you know.
avoid the negative thinking, just because
Mm.
maybe somebody may not have replied in the past, it doesn't mean the next person you contact isn't going to.
I
Mm.
truly believe that everybody watching this has something to offer the world,
Mm.
even if they haven't thought about what that might be today.
Mhm.
And I think if you're thinking about your personal plan, take some time and have a little think about that. Think about what it is that you might have that somebody else might be interested in hearing, something that you've not thought of, particularly when it comes to your own life experience. How you've managed and how you've come through, or how real and honest you are. All of those are really admirable qualities.
Mm.
I was thinking about those connections and how they form our support networks, Ros.
Mm. Yeah, and how they can change, and fluctuate over time. I know that I go to certain people for different things as of when I need them. I've got, a really good network of friends and family and work colleagues, and they're
Mm,
there, aren't they? And I know in our packs we have got, our network diagram, our sort of dartboard, as it were,
yeah.
which kind of illustrates, the distance or the urgency of those different types of support networks and people to connect to as of when it's
Mm.
needed.
Lots of people that I work with at Bath Mind have said that people in their support network are often people that they connect within one of the Bath Mind groups,
Mm.
or or somebody that they worked alongside or volunteered with. But it could also be your friends and family, work colleagues and neighbours. I certainly see my pets as part of my support network. Sometimes my routines and my activities are part of that thing that keeps me supported. Um, and I also know, I think about some of the people I work really closely with, they see their support workers and professionals as strong parts of their support network, and those online friends and pen pals.
And these are all people that we can reach out to, they're there, they're available, we've got support numbers. And if you've not had that in the past, it doesn't mean you can't have that support now. um, and I guess as well
Mm.
as people
Yeah,
as
so if you've
well.
had that, so like you said just then, Ros, if you've had that, haven't had that support in the past, it doesn't mean you can't have that now. How close and distance we put people in our support networks. You may only want to have one person in that sort of inner circle, and that's okay. You might think your support network is small, but that's also fine. It's Some people like to just have a small support network, and some people feel that they need to have lots of different people in every different level of it. Look at your own support network and see if you can write that out on that page. Take time to do that after the session today. Look at where you put people at the moment, but also look at where you would like them to move to and how you might go about making that happen. But I think most importantly, what we spoke about appreciation before, try and appreciate the connections that you have today.